My name is Ashley Cobb and I am an LPN to BSN student at Indiana State University. This is Health Education Project number 2 for Community Health Nursing, and it will be focused on motorcycle safety. By the end of this presentation, you will be able to explain the dangers of riding a motorcycle and how it affects public health. You will be able to state the sources of motorcycle-related injury and death. You will be able to identify risk factors for injury and death related to motorcycles. You will be able to list ways to improve motorcycle safety, and you will be able to discuss ways to reduce motorcycle-related injury and death. We will be stopping here for a knowledge check. You can access the pre-test by clicking on the link at the beginning of this YouTube video. Motorists and motorcyclists have a shared responsibility in improving motorcycle safety. Motorists should be willing to share the road and make themselves aware that motorcyclists face challenges related to their size and visibility. They should also be aware that motorcycles make maneuvers such as downshifting rather than braking and weaving in and out of traffic so that they can anticipate these maneuvers and respond to them appropriately. Motorcyclists need to be aware that there's an increased risk of injury and death related to challenges in controlling a motorcycle, and that balance, coordination, and good judgment are imperative in safe motorcycling. Here are some common causes of motorcycle-related injuries and deaths. Collisions, such as head-on collisions, account for over half of motorcycles involved in fatal accidents. In about 75% of those accidents, the car strikes the motorcycle in the front. These accidents are very dangerous because of the amount of mismatched force related to the size and weight of a motorcycle versus a car. Collisions between motorcycles and fixed objects are also very dangerous because there's an increased risk for death when a motorcycle collides with a fixed object. Motorcyclists can be seriously injured or killed when veering off of a slippery road and colliding with a tree or a fence. Cars making left-hand turns often strike motorcyclists in intersections because they are speeding, distracted, didn't see oncoming motorcycle, or misjudge its speed. Motorcyclists may engage in risky riding behaviors, such as breaking the law and violating safety rules, contributing significantly to motorcycle-related injuries and deaths. Close to 30% of fatal motorcycle crashes are related to an intoxicated rider. Another 33% of fatal motorcycle crashes are related to speed, and this is of increased prevalence in riders ages 21 to 24. Wearing a helmet is imperative in preventing motorcycle-related deaths. About 37% of motorcycle accidents where the rider was killed could have been saved had they been wearing a helmet. Motorcyclists need to be hyper-vigilant about road hazards such as loose gravel, uneven road surfaces, and railroad tracks, which would be unimportant to a car. Lane splitting, when a motorcycle is avoiding traffic and riding down the center lane, snaking through traffic, cars may not be expecting to be passed in that lane, and there's also limited room, which increases the risk of a car versus a motorcycle accident. How does motorcycle safety affect public health? Even though motorcycles only account for about 3% of registered vehicles on the road and only about 0.6% of those miles traveled, also account for 14 to 17% of traffic fatalities, and this is riders and passengers on motorcycles. You are 4 times more likely to be injured and 29 times more likely to die on a motorcycle than you are versus in a car in an accident. In 2019 alone, there were 84,000 motorcyclists injured in motorcycle accidents and another 5,014 fatalities. It is estimated that $9.2 billion could have been saved in 2016 alone if all motorcycle riders had worn helmets. Debilitating injuries and deaths from motorcycles are costly but preventable. Motorcycle safety in the news. A 44-year-old male was killed and his 22-year-old female passenger significantly injured near Des Moines, Iowa at 2 o'clock in the morning on June 22, 2019. For undetermined reasons, the male rider exited the road and drove into the ditch. Both occupants were thrown from the vehicle. Speed and alcohol were determined to be factors in the accident, and neither the rider or his passenger were wearing a helmet. I highlight the 2 a.m. because it's dark at 2 a.m. There's other intoxicated riders on the road, and that increases the risk of accident involving injury and death. Speed and alcohol are also major contributing factors to injury and death, as are lack of wearing a helmet. Here are some ways we can improve motorcycle safety and reduce risk for injury and death. State motorcycle helmet laws. So helmets reduce the risk of head injury by 69%. Unhelmeted riders are 40% more likely to die from a head injury than someone wearing a helmet. And this is the only proven way to get people to wear helmets, is to have the states mandate universal helmet laws. States should also mandate motorcycle safety courses for motorcycle licensing. This provides knowledge and hands-on training for the entry-level rider. It introduces riders to the fundamentals and safety practices of riding and teaches them how to handle real-life riding scenarios. Riders should be aware of their overall riding safety. They should be aware of weather conditions before getting on the road, wear a DOT-approved helmet and highly visible riding gear. They should inspect their motorcycle before each ride. They should obey traffic laws using signals and obeying the speed limit. They should be observant and watch for road hazards. They should keep a safe distance from other vehicles. They should carry a first aid kit in their motorcycle, and they should not ride under the influence of drugs or alcohol or without adequate sleep. Motorists should sufficiently scan intersections for all roadway users and proceed with caution. They should slow their decision-making process at intersections. They should diligently modify speed on congested roadways. They should allow motorcycles a full lane width and share the road, but not the lane. They should always be looking for motorcycles by checking mirrors and blind spots before switching lanes, and always signal their intentions before changing lanes or merging. They should be allowing 3 to 4 seconds following distance when traveling behind a motorcycle to allow for any necessary rider maneuvers. Here are some public health initiatives related to motorcycle safety. The CDC has included motorcycle safety in their High Five interventions from the Office of the Associate Director for Policy and Strategy for 5-year health impact. This includes a motorcycle safety guide. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has several targeted campaigns and fact sheets and videos on their website related to motorcycle safety. Some states have helmet laws, require motorcycle safety courses for licensing, and have targeted campaigns, such as Maryland, who releases motorcycle safety tips and tricks during the month of May, which is also Motorcycle Safety Month. The military, because of the increased rate of motorcycle-related injuries and deaths, requires all motorcycle riders to complete a motorcycle safety course, whether the state requires it or not. They have mentored motorcycle rides with experienced riders. They require helmets regardless of state law for all members of the military. They also require footwear that covers the ankle, long pants, and long sleeve shirts or jacket with eye protection. These are things that the state should require as well to improve motorcycle safety. Please stop here to take a post-test to assess your knowledge about motorcycle safety. A link can be found at the beginning of the YouTube video. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has many great motorcycle safety resources available, and here's a link. A flyer will also be attached in the links at the beginning of this YouTube video, which also has links to resources available.